Hey, what's up guys, the one and only here, and I'm back with another video, and today in this video we're going to be doing a review, but it's not on this thing. It's actually on these. For those of you who don't know what these are, it says here, Flashmasters. So they're blades from Flashmasters, which if you don't know who they are, they specialize in blades meant for removing flash on miniatures, which if you don't know what flash is, it's essentially the excess plastic on stuff that you see coming out of molds or whatever. So, and Flashmasters, they're different from other blades because their blades are flexible, and today they were kind enough to send me some free blades, and so I wanted to do a review and test them out. Now, we're going to be doing a comparison as well to Exacto. Now, I will say right off the bat, there is a clear difference between the two, and that's also going to be my first recommendation. There's clearly a size difference. So, right off the bat, I'm just gonna say, Flashmasters, if you guys are seeing this, I recommend making the another version, another model, whatever. But I recommend taking these things and scaling them up. Alright, folks. So yeah, I don't really, never mind this. Never mind the one from the Dollar Tree, because the one from the Dollar Tree uses a piece of plastic to hold it in place, which doesn't really hold it in very securely. Yes, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Yeah, I guess we'll just use the full length, which is, I'm not really sure how I feel about that, because I mean, I'm not going to be holding the thing like that, so I would have preferred to have been able to use the smaller one, which I guess technically we could just swap the metal bit into the shorter one, but I don't really feel like doing all that, so yeah. But yeah, so they're flexible blades, and I personally can see more uses than for what they're for. Now, what they're for are normally for miniatures, you know, like 40K miniatures and stuff like that. Yeah, they could definitely be used for that, obviously, because that's what they're meant for. But I can also see them being applied to Gundam and other types of model kits, you know, because model kits definitely have a lot of the excess plastic from the spruce and all that. Yeah, all you Gunpla builders know what I'm talking about. But it can extend even further than just that. Okay, now you see here we obviously have an APC. This is from the Leonard or whatever. And now I figured and, you know, saw that they were the exact same scale, or at least super close to the same scale as the Mega minifigures. So for anyone that has this APC, you already know what I've done. But anyone who doesn't, this APC came with, it was either one or two, I think it was one of those like 4-inch soldier dudes that have like 5 points of articulation, one in the legs and one in the shoulders and one in the head. Yeah, it came with like one of those dudes, and it had these two huge seats, one here and one here, which that is nowhere near accurate, and it's not the same scale at all. So I decided to cut down those seats and get rid of them. And I'm thinking about putting some, like, obviously you can see here, putting some plates into here with studs so that minifigures can stand. But it also had these two, you see that there's these, I don't know what you call them, but they're for the screws, or no, not even for the screws. They're for the these. to slot into. But then there was these two things here for, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were to hold the thing into the box. So screws would be in there and holding it into the box. I'm not even sure if it was screws. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I tried cutting them down as best as I can, and as you can see, it's still there, and that is quite annoying. And yeah, back here as well. That is horrible looking. Obviously, I couldn't reach them, so figured that, hey, maybe these probably can. Now, these are meant to be flexible, so we're going to be putting the flex to the test as well. Okay. Okay, we can get 90 degrees with this. That's pretty crazy. It's actually pretty crazy. Oh, yes. That seems to be working just good, just fine. Uh-huh. Yeah, look at that. That's... I don't know if I did that on camera, but that was going real well. That's almost flush now. Got a little bit more on this side to do. Because I myself, when I was originally prepping this thing for the minifigures, I was wondering how I was going to remove these things, because they were quite annoying and I did not like how they looked. I wanted to get rid of them entirely. I was thinking about using the Dremel to get it, but no matter what bit I used for the Dremel, it would have always made an indentation, which is no better. This is by far the best solution. Now, looking at this now, and after using it for a bit, I have another recommendation for you, Flashmasters. Oh. That's interesting. I did not expect that to happen, to be honest, but it did. It's kind of interesting. But I don't know if that's really gonna... That's something I was wondering about these blades. When, if they'll eventually break, which, I'd assume that they would. But how much does it take to break them, I wonder. But yeah, that's another recommendation I have for you guys. Well, first of all, if there's any way of making them more durable, that's obviously something that, should be considered. Now, I do note that I do understand that the thinness of the blade plays into the flexibility of the blade, which, clearly has quite a bit of. This thing can get 90 degrees easy. But you see the bend in the blade, that is concerning. And yeah, I know, sure, it could be, sure, you could say it's user error or whatever, it's my fault. But then again, I am kind of just, well, one, I'm testing it. Two, I am using its feature, which is, the flexibility. That's all I'm really doing, just using the flexibility. Technically, it's still holding out. It's all it really did was bend. It's not really broken yet. Still usable. So, but another recommendation is that now Exacto has these. These are the standard Exacto blades, and The reason why I have a pack of standard Exacto blades is because my Walmart, which is where I get the blades from, have recently, I don't know if they stopped buying or what, but there's a version of these blades that have like a gold coating on the actual blade itself. And those blades are what I would normally use. They were extremely good at cutting, which is why I would normally end up having cuts on my fingers and hands like almost every day. But right, so where was I? Ah, yes. So that gold coating that these blades had, or that the variant of the gold, that the you know what I mean. I think that could definitely help these blades out. It would make cutting easier and would prevent, this from happening. Because if you're cutting much smoother and much quicker, much easier, you don't need to apply as much force, so you won't end up bending it like that. But so far, still technically, it's not broken. So go ahead and continue on with this. Yeah. See, this is pretty great. It's pretty neat. I've never seen a flexible blade like this before. The only thing I've ever really seen is the katana. Katanas don't really flex like this. Anyways, yeah. So as you can see, this stuff is really good. This could definitely be applied to Gundams, model kits. I could even see it. It's used for miniatures, but I could also even see it being used for like mega minifigures or whatever. And definitely any of you guys who do 3D printing, you guys could definitely use this, because your prints a lot of times have a bunch of those supports and stuff. And even if you do prep them for being shipped out or whatever, a lot of times, sometimes they have the small little nubs at the edges and stuff of the prints. But definitely these could be used if you're printing something like a head and it's like, top side up. Because then sometimes you can get some of those supports on the inside of the head, where the ball joint would be. And that's no good. That's that's not really fun to play with or whatever, clear out. You'd either need to take a Dremel to it, or sometimes, depending on what it is, like say it's a McFarlane head, and no, that's not a good. Well, yeah, say it's a McFarlane head, and you're prepping it for Marvel Legends. I mean, in that case, the supports or whatever, they're somewhat fine, because regardless, you're gonna have to fill in the head a little bit to make it fit the ball of the Marvel Legends, because Marvel Legends heads sit higher up than McFarlane heads, because the socket for the McFarlane heads are deeper. Anyways, yeah, these could definitely be used for quite a few things. Yeah, right here, this one's giving me trouble. If it had that gold coating on it, so whatever that stuff is called, would have gone through it by now, but it does not. Yeah. But yeah, if you look here, you can see on this cannon or whatever, there's quite a bit of that flash or whatever, that excess garbage, excess trash that no one likes to see. Yeah. But yeah, just by trimming all the excess plastic off something, it could really take something from like looking like an 8 to maybe looking like a 9, or from a 7 to an 8 or whatever. It's not too much of an improvement, but like it's still definitely one hell of an improvement. And you Gundam builders and model kits guys, you guys definitely know what I'm talking about. excess plastic. It's not something that you really like pay attention to all too much sometimes. I'm saying some words, but anyways, it's not really something that really catches your eye all the time. But just by getting rid of it, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. But yeah, so for those of you who don't know, yeah, this APC is in scale with the Mega minifigures. And I don't know if these are still being sold or not, but now personally I've never seen some of the smaller Leonard stuff in stores. I've seen maybe like once, and I don't even remember which one it was. But I don't really see them all that much in stores at all. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I got I got this off of Macari. It was like a superset or something. But yeah, this APC is mega scaled. So if you don't want to spend over $100 trying to get a Minimates APC, or if you don't want to like build one or don't want to wait for Mega to make one, just get this thing. Sure, it's a little bit of modding and prep, but it's not too bad, especially when you got these. Only thing I don't care about it is that the door, the actual door of the thing, it's molded onto the thing. It's a bummer, but like whatever. You could technically mod it, but you can't mod it. I mean, sure, someone could, but modding it to open the way it should, that's not really all that easy. This thing's pretty great at getting rid of all that flash, So, like, for what it's advertised for, it's pretty good at it, obviously. Oh, I just realized all that was off camera. Damn. Yeah, for what it's advertised, for, it's pretty good at it. Even for what it's not advertised for, I don't think I can do that on camera, but I got rid of the because these are all stickers on the APC. These are all stickers, unfortunately, and some of them I actually like how they look, so I don't want to get rid of them. But the way they're placed on, they kind of they're not really straight, some of them, and due to that, they, especially this one up here, kind of lips over or whatever. And I just took the thing I said, I got rid of the lip really easily. I didn't really make contact with the plastic. I just glided over the plastic, but it still got rid of the lip of the sticker really easily. Yeah, so I can definitely see this. It still hasn't even broken. Sure, it got bent, but I mean, for a flexible blade, that's not really a big deal. So like, look, I can still get a flat 90 with this either side. So a bend's not really too much of a deal. But yeah, I definitely see it being used for Gundam, model kits, Mega, really anything else. Yeah, I can definitely see it being used for a bunch of things. So, I recommend this. A lot of you model kit makers and Gundam guys, definitely recommend you guys pick up some of these or whatever. Figured all it out. I can definitely see you using these. One of one, I can see you using it as well. Z. Some of you minifigure dudes, could definitely see you guys using these. I recommend that you guys pick some up and check them out. Let me know what you guys think about these in the comments. And I would also like for you guys to leave in the comments recommendations to make these blades better. I already said what I thought, you know, a bigger blade, the gold coating that the Exacto has, and a little bit more durable, but that's not really, that one's like, you know, I mean, if it's longer, it probably would need to be maybe a little bit thicker so it doesn't actually snap. But then again, we actually haven't seen it snap. We've only seen it bend. Which, I mean, I prefer bending over snapping, because if you look here, this is an Exacto, and you can see that tip is just, you can see here that tip is just gone. A lot of times, sometimes I'll break them down all the way up to here, which is, you know, and by default, if you look at this, they don't really have that really pointy tip, which is a good thing, and it's not really a bad thing. It's not a takeaway, because let's face it, Exacto, those tips, like, what are they for? To be honest, like, they break on this. A lot of times, sometimes they break on the first use, but normally, for me, they break on the second or third use. It depends on how I'm cutting and what I'm cutting, but there's no point in the tip. That wasn't really meant to be a pun, but like, there's no, so these guys, they didn't even bother with the tip, so, which is, you know, good. The blade itself, like, you know, the sharp edge does continue all the way to the quote unquote tip or whatever. There's no point on it, but it's kind of like rounded, but yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments of, like, what do you think of what you've seen? Let me know your recommendations to make the blades better. And go check out Flashmasters on Instagram and click the link in their bio if you want to get yourself some of these. Yeah, I'm actually fairly satisfied with these. They are smaller than I originally thought, but to be honest, that didn't really affect much. I do still think a larger blade would be handy and stuff. And if you can have that shape at the end, that would make it easier to use and put into the Exacto handle. But otherwise, that's all I've got to say. So this has been the one and only, and I'll see you guys next time.